Orcs aren't just green-skinned goblin gym bros. They're tough, they're strong, they're aggressive, and they've got a divine mandate to burn the world. In this series of videos, I'll link to the playlist down below, we've been talking about the monsters most DMs think of as cannon fodder, the kind of enemies we can throw at low-level players and they'll most likely survive. And now we come to orcs. We all know they're tougher than kobolds or goblins, and they're pretty dangerous for first-level PCs, but these aggressive tribal brutes are more than just disposable rank-and-file monsters. Hey there, adventurers. My name is Judd, and this is Short Rest Studios, where we believe fun builds community. I'm using the 2014 Monster Manual for this video because, well, orcs aren't in this one. They're a playable race in 2024 D&D. We're looking at the classic monstrous orc. According to the Monster Manual lore, orcs are savage raiders. They'll come to your town, steal your stuff, kill you, and burn everything to the ground. And why? Their god Gruumsh was denied what he believed was owed to him by the other gods. He took his revenge against the gods, laying waste to their lands. The manual then says, such was the role of the orcs, he proclaimed, to take and destroy all that the other races would deny them. To this day, the orcs wage an endless war on humans, elves, dwarves, and other folk. And orcs have a special place in their hearts for elves. That was sarcasm. They hate elves because of an old rivalry between Gruumsh and an elven god. They're tribal, generally nomadic pillagers. They'll kill anyone who stands against them. They take everything of worth, and they won't leave a building standing. The bloodlust is satiated, but only temporarily. Before too long, they'll be at it again. They can live in any part of the world, and their lairs are ruins, caverns, and the settlements of vanquished foes that they turn into fortified camps or strongholds. They like to make homey improvements like mounting the severed body parts of their victims on spiked stockade walls or pikes jutting up from moats and trenches. It's so quaint.
I love what you've done with the place.
Orcs are really not smart with just a 7 intelligence, and they're only moderately dexterous with a 12 dex, but they make up for those weaknesses with 16 for both strength and constitution. That's a +3 bonus for each. They have a 13 AC and 15 HP, and that makes them pretty beefy for a half CR monster. All this means they're not going to be sneaking up on your players or ambushing them. Orcs are brute force tanks. They've got a +5 to hit with their great axes, which deal 1d12 +3 damage, which can easily take a low-level PC out with one blow. And they also have javelins for ranged attacks. Interestingly, they have a +2 for intimidation, which I guess if monster orcs are going to have a social skill, intimidation would be the one. But here's the thing that really makes orcs what they are, the aggressive trait. As a bonus action, the orc can move up to its speed toward a hostile creature that it can see. According to Keith Amon, the aggressive feature applies chiefly to one situation, when a group of orcs is between 30 and 60 feet away from the player characters. As a DM, you should therefore assume that first contact with a group of orcs always takes place at this distance, that the orcs will be initially hostile, and that they'll charge the second they decide talking is boring. So what kind of story is this telling us about orcs? Well, they're not smart, and they definitely lack finesse. And since they travel in large groups, you're rarely going to see a small number of orcs. They're bullies, and they'll take the opportunity to bully your PCs. It's fun to roleplay some taunts and threats at this stage, the kind of over-the-top stuff that can give your players a chuckle and at the same time let them know what kind of violence they're in for. Orcs are also the kind of bullies who can back up their threats. They're maybe not incredibly strategic, but they're instinctive fighters. That aggressive trait and those hard-hitting great axes mean that you start them at 30 to 60 feet away, they charge in and land a massive blow before your PCs can react, and they just keep hammering away. That aggression and that mandate from Gruumsh to destroy mean that an orc will only retreat extremely reluctantly, only if they're wounded or at a severe disadvantage. Unlike a lot of other low-level monsters, orcs will fight to the death. They're raiders, marauders, pillagers, and since they have dark vision, I like to think they operate mainly at night. Adventurers, the dice don't lie. We trust the dice. We love the dice. The dice are our friends, and you can never have enough friends, so you should really head over to mistymountaingaming.com and use code SHORTREST to get 10% off their incredible variety of gorgeous dice. They have acrylic dice with cool colors, solid and hollow metal dice, gemstone dice, silicone dice, bone dice. If you've thought of a material to make dice out of, they probably have it, and it has a lifetime warranty. They also have bags, trays, DM screens, apparel, and tea. Yeah, tea. But we all know you're there for the dice. A great way to introduce orcs into your campaign would be like a natural disaster. They're a wandering band that invades, kills, steals, and burns villages to the ground, decimating the countryside. Maybe your party returns late at night to their home base after a quest to find the village burned to the ground, its inhabitants murdered.
Too bad you were away,
shouts a gruff voice from behind you. You turn to see 3 bands of orcs to your left, right, and straight ahead, with the burning village at your back. The leader, a war chief, shouts,
"Perhaps you could have saved them."
He tosses an object to the ground as it rolls into the firelight. You see that it's the bloody head of the townmaster. "We're here now," your paladin says. The orcs begin to laugh.
"Good,"
cries the chief.
"I always have a taste for more blood."
The orcs charge and begin the attack. The players can use speed and stealth to their advantage, but the orcs will always go for hand-to-hand. And if you want to add variety to your orc encounters, don't forget about the Orc Eye of Gruumsh. Basically a cleric. He's smarter and wiser than the average orc, and of course he can cast spells, making him more complex strategically. And then there's the Orc War Chief, smarter, stronger, and hardier than the average orc. The War Chief has multi-attack and some additional bonuses, plus a couple of features that make this orc an even more dangerous brute. Gruumsh's Fury adds an extra 1d8 damage to its weapon attacks, and Battle Cry allows the War Chief to give allies within 30 feet advantage on attacks. Tell me about your favorite encounters with so-called easy monsters in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video and want more of this kind of content, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and please consider supporting the channel by joining the Adventurers Guild at patreon.com/shortreststudios or by hitting the join button right under this video. If you're looking for more advice on running low-level monsters, check out these videos, and I'll see you next time on Short Rest Studios.